back to my channel for another video. My name is Paige Smith. If you're new here, thanks for hopping on. If you are new, go ahead and hit subscribe down below. If you're a subscriber already, thanks for coming back for another video. Today is a video, well, first, I would ideally like to film with Max, but he works every time it's daylight and I use natural lighting to film my videos, so sorry Max isn't here. This definitely is one that like he could definitely be involved in and give input, but it just didn't work out with timing and schedules. And then second thing is, this is something that Max and I get asked all the time, from even like family to friends to people that like will ask our parents, you know, about what like our living situation is. Literally, we just get asked this question all the time in our everyday lives. So I am filming this video to answer it for you. And I'm sure you know by the title of this video, it is how we bought a house at 20 years old. So before we actually get into the video, I just want to say that yes, Max and I worked really hard to have what we have in life, but we are also, I feel like we are very blessed. We are definitely thankful for everything that we have in our lives. We give thanks to God every single morning, night, all day long. I mean, everything that we have really wouldn't be possible without him. We also are very thankful for all the love and support that we get from our family. Just everything we've gone through in general can be very stressful, and it's even harder if you're not on good terms with your family, so we're thankful for that. It definitely makes everything so much smoother. We're also thankful for the guidance that we've had leading up to this point in our lives to kind of prepare us for where we're at right now. So all that ramble and jibber jabber is done. Let's hop on into the actual video. Looking down, I do have what I want to say and like all the points I want to talk about on my phone down here. To start off, if you're new here, Max is my fiance. We bought our house when I was he 20 yet? He was 20 and I was 19, and I turned 20 just not too long ago. So we're both 20 and we are homeowners. Back around Christmas time, I did upload like a really quick like walkthrough of our like house, just so you can see like our Christmas decorations and everything. I have an in-depth house tour coming. I just need to edit it. It might be up before this. If it is, I'll link it down below. If not, subscribe. You'll see it in a couple videos. That's kind of like a disclaimer. That's, you know, our situation on where we were at. Before we bought our house, I was living in an apartment because I had bought my dog and it didn't work out with having my dog like when I was living with my parents. So I moved into an apartment and I was there for I think 3-4 months. And then because I actually graduated from my trade school before Max did. So then Max was living with his parents and I was living in an apartment. He was planning on moving into the apartment with me, so, and that had always been part of the plan. So he was saving and, you know, preparing in that aspect of things. And the weekend he was supposed to move into the apartment with me, we were just like looking around on Zillow and saw this house that we live in now, and it was like a for sale by owner. Max's family and he knew the owner. They, you know, had gone to church together their whole lives and all this stuff. And so the situation itself could not have been any better for our case. So that definitely, like, timing is key in everything that happens in life, especially in buying a house. I told Max, I said, like, if it doesn't happen, like, it's not in God's plans for us to have this house. So timing is definitely a key element when it comes to buying a house. So trust in that. But so yeah, that's like a little backstory. So we were saving prior to, like, I had already been budgeted and Max was saving to move in. So we did have that going. Anyway, seriously, let's go. Let me actually get to my points. My first real tip would be make home ownership like your biggest priority. And by that I mean, make sure that wanting a house is something that you really, really, truly want. It's easy to think that owning your own house is gonna be all fun and games, you know, like, oh, I live with my fiance, like, life is glorious. But like, when things break, you have to fix it. When bills come in, you have to pay them. Like, it's not all fun and games. I know that might be a surprise. You need to make it a priority, and you need to accept that it is your new priority in life. It needs to be, you know, top of your priority list. When things break, when things need to be maintained, when bills need paid, when the grass needs mowed, when the flowers need watered, when the steps need repainted, when, I don't know, when a window cracks and you gotta replace it. Owning a house is a task of its own. It's not all fun and games. A lot of responsibility that comes with owning a house, and if it's your top priority, that means you're ready to take on the responsibility. And if you are not in a place in your life where you feel as though owning a home or home ownership can be the top priority on your list, then it probably maybe isn't best for you. My second big tip would stop spending your money on going out, and if you're over 21, on like alcohol. I know that's something really expensive that a lot of young adults spend money on. So stop buying so much booze and stop eating out so much. A lot of 20-something-year-olds do go to bars often, and weekend after weekend after weekend, that does add up. So by cutting that out, you're going to save a ton of money as is that can eventually go into a house. I'm not in any place to judge those who spend their money that way. That's totally fine. This is obviously, I'm just giving tips on how we prepared for how Max and I have prepared for home ownership, and how we still, you know, take these steps to stay in check with owning a house at such a young age. This also kind of goes back into, I guess, like what your priorities are. I mean, if going out and spending time with your friends is top of your priority, that's totally fine. You do you, girlfriend. But I mean, if you want to own a house, sometimes you're gonna have to like reel it in, bring it home, literally bring it home, and just stay in every once in a while. It's not gonna kill you, and you know, your friends can come hang out here. It's not a big deal. But it's like, we just weren't, this, like, it wasn't the case for us where we could kind of have both, you know, go out all the time and then also buy a house. Like, it just wasn't in our budget. And so we kind of had to sit down and evaluate our lifestyle and some things that we could cut out. And that was one of the things we found out, is that we eat out a lot and put a lot of money into eating out. And so it's one of those things we really have cut back on. I mean, unless we have like gift cards, because then it's like not spending real money. But yeah, so just, you kind of have to sit down and evaluate your life and see where a lot of your time and money is spent on. And 9 chances out of 10, it's gonna be on going out and drinking and having fun and eating out when you don't really need that in your life, if this is your priority. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love to go out to eat. I love to go out for dinners, and Max and I do. We just don't do it as frequently, and we especially kind of like watch where we're going. Tip number 3 would be to cut down on all unnecessary expenses. And that like goes way beyond going out to eat too much and hitting up the bars too much. Actually think down to the core, and do you have any like money waste habits that you can really cut down on? If you're preparing to buy a house, you want to save money in every aspect possible, and you'll be so surprised at how much the little expenses add up to big bills. Whether that means you have to have like frugal date nights, you have to buy, you know, cheaper groceries, you have to, you know, not go shopping as often, or even little things as far as like where you're driving, like gas mileage. Like that's something that adds up a lot. Like if you're just driving around just to drive around, maybe that's something you're gonna have to kind of cut out. You're gonna have to sit down with your partner and really, or if you're doing this on your own, I guess I'm doing this from a couple's perspective, but you could do this on your own too. But you're really gonna have to sit down, whether it's with you or with your partner, and like evaluate your spending and see where your money is going, and find like where you can cut it and save. Because like it comes back to that first tip. If you want to be a homeowner, that needs to be your priority, and the way to make it your priority is to budget accordingly. Another way, well, I guess not another way, I mean tip number 4 would be another way to prepare to buy a house as a young adult, would be to find extra ways to bring in some income. And I mean, nowadays it's called like a side hustle. It's like a big thing now, like everyone wants a side hustle. So find your like niche, find your clique, find something that you enjoy doing that can bring you some extra income. I mean, I guess like to disclaim, like if you don't know what a side hustle is anything you do on the side to make extra income. So I mean, basically that's what this tip is to like find your side hustle and rock with it, to roll with it. With the money that you make from your side hustle, the money that I made from babysitting, I would not spend. I would put it in my savings account and not touch it. Like that was my side hustle money that I did not touch. It literally went from check to deposit to savings, and I didn't touch it until I bought the house. Saving little bits adds up, just like spending little bits adds up. So, I mean, you can choose whether you want to spend it or save it, but either way, you need to kind of say like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is where I'm at, this is where my money's going, and that's what you have to do. You have to find your priorities. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into buying a house, but those are like my 4 main things. I guess so like my 5 main tips would be trust like the process, trust the timing, trust the situation that you're in. Like it's gonna work out. If it's supposed to, it'll happen. If not, that's okay. It's okay. It's supposed to happen that way. Definitely make home ownership your priority if that is what you really want. Stop wasting money on going out to eat and drinking all the time. Cut down and evaluate your unnecessary expenses and cut them out. Instead, save that money. And then number 5 would be find ways to bring in additional income or find your side hustle. So my numbers were kind of out of order, because I didn't really count that first little tidbit that I popped in the video as like a tip, but it is a big tip. So actually there's 5, even though my numbers were off as I was listing them to you guys. So if you wanted to see this like way more in detail, I could bring Max in and like you guys can ask us questions on how we got a house so young. We'd be more than willing to do that. But I think this is a good basis. It's a good kind of like rundown on how we prepare to buy a house as young adults. So, I mean, incorporate this as early as you can, not like 3 months before you want to buy a house. I mean, if that's the case, then do it then. But these are things that you could incorporate. I'm talking from like the time you graduate high school, if not before. Like save, save, save. And I think you just know, like to your core, like if home ownership is something you want at a young age, like you just know. A lot of people are fine with renting. I mean, home ownership is a permanent thing. I mean, yes, you can sell your house, but this isn't something where in like a year my lease is up. If I want to move, I can. If I want to stay, I can. This is like a permanent investment. Like it's something that is yours forever potentially, and not everybody wants that, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I know a lot of people, even my friends, love just having apartments, making it their own style, and then moving to a whole new city, and there is nothing wrong with that. And I mean, rock it if you want, girlfriend, you do you. So that's just, I guess, like the little snippet of advice that I could give anyone looking to own a home at a young age. And yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below. Give us a thumbs up if it helped you out and if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Turn on the little bell so you can get notified every time I upload on Mondays and Thursdays. And that's all, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this helped you out. Love you lots. Thanks for watching. Bye.